Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. Listen, scream, and embrace your horror obsession. I'm your host, Eleazar. Today, Jamie's back to cover Lights Out. What are the rules here? What part did we find the most terrifying? And do we actually have a good boyfriend in a horror movie? If you dare follow us, all our links in the description. Next week on the podcast is a surprise. But until then, a movie that asks, if my friend's dead, but not a ghost, what is she?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. I'm your host, Eleazar. I'm joined again by Jamie. Jamie, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm excited today to be covering Lights Out, which came out in 2026. Nope, in 2016. 2016. It was based on a short film that went viral from 2013, and it was made by the writer-director David S. Sandberg. He's best known for Annabelle Creation, Shazam, and its second movie, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Screenwriter was Eric Heiser, who also wrote Bird Box, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, Final Destination 5, and Arrival 2016. Then it has
Wow, okay.
Teresa
I did not know
Palmer.
that. Pretty good.
Yeah, Teresa Palmer. Margot and I covered her in the movie called Warm Bodies for our first Valentine's Day episode. She's also been in The Grudge 2 as a really small role. She played Jane Doe in I Am Number 4 and was in the movie 222. Gabriel Bateman plays Martin. He was in Annabelle. He was in the Child's Play remake, and he was in Unhinged 2020. Maria Bello, most famous, I know her from Coyote Ugly, but she's a regular on NCIS. She's in the movie Big Driver, which is based on a Stephen King story. The Cooler, A History of Violence, which is hinted at this movie. There's someone that says the line, A History of Violence, which is a reference to that, I think. And then in the 2013 movie called Prisoners. And then we got Billy Burke, who plays Paul. I know him most from the Twilight Saga. He plays Charlie, Margot's favorite from Twilight.
Are you serious?
Yeah, completely. Because she's like, he's a really good guy. He cares a lot for Bella. He's like a really loving father. And the entire movie series, he never does anything wrong. He's just like a really good guy.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, and then my family most know him right now. They're watching a show called Fire Country, and he's in there.
I noticed, I wish I remember the name of it. I was watching a series about, I guess animal mutations, and he was some doctor in it. But I feel like he plays a very, every time I see him, I see, the same character from that series. I wish...
Sure.
God, I wish I remember what it was called. It was pretty good. Was it out? No.
Do you
Was
feel
it
the same
Outbreak?
way
I don't
about
know.
Teresa Palmer? That's Rebecca, the main woman.
Let me see. I don't know her in much others. I definitely have seen I Am Number 4. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I get you. I know Margot just says she watched her in A Discovery of Witches because she's the main star of that. And she says she really can't act, which I thought was funny because I think she did good in this one.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think her face isn't very expressive, but
Okay.
I don't think it's weird because the way she looks kind of doesn't fit the personality I got from this. She looks like she would play a very good, 90s bad girl, I guess. 90s,
Okay.
early 2000s. That's what I see her as. And so I guess she kind of fit it because, in here, she has all these, rock posters and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Avenged Sevenfold. I knew that. So I guess she still kind of fit it. But yeah, I don't think she was bad at all in this movie.
Cool. And then we have Alexander Deprecia, I think is maybe how you say it. He plays Brett, the boyfriend. And the only thing I could find that I knew that he was in was I Am Legend, and he just plays male evacuee number 2. So not a big role at all.
It's weird because I've seen him before, but I have no idea where.
Yeah, I mean, I looked. I
Yeah,
don't see it. Yeah.
never seen any of these things that are listed, so I don't know where I've seen him.
Yeah. So it had a budget of 4.9 million, but its worldwide intake was 148.9 million, so it made a ton of money. It has
Nice.
a critics score of 74% and an audience score of
Oh.
61%, which I think is low because I really like this movie.
Yeah, it really wasn't bad, I don't think.
Anything you want to say about it before we really go into the plot?
Hmm. No, I think most of my notes are just on the movie. I
Okay.
don't know much of the
Sure.
outside details.
I get you. So the movie starts where we have Paul, who again is played by Billy Burke. He's working in his warehouse area office job. It looks like he's got a lot of mannequins in this
Yeah.
place. He receives a call from his son Martin, who's asking when he's coming home because Martin's worrying about his mother Sophie. Paul says he's working on a plan to make her feel better, and Martin tells him that she started talking to herself.
Yeah.
He pulls out a file, and we'll learn eventually that this is a file from her medical history where she spent some time in a mental institution.
Mhm.
But then we see this other character named Esther comes in asking if he's offering overtime, and he says not really, just go ahead and close up shop and go home. And so we get this really good scene right off the bat where she's going to turn off the lights in a room, and when she does, she sees this outline of a figure kind of standing there. So she's confused. She turns back on the lights, but there's no one there. And she
Mhm.
does this like 3 times, but on the third time, that figure jumps closer to her. And
Yeah.
it's like this really scary thing. So she leaves the lights on and
Yeah, but
tries to
she
go talk
doesn't
to
even get
Paul.
scared. I mean, she gets scared, but she doesn't scream or anything. She just like gasps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's brave. I also am wondering, why is this warehouse so dark? It looks like she's taking inventory or something. She has a clipboard in her hand. I'm like, why is this warehouse so dark? Like, I worked in an Amazon warehouse, but the lighting is horrible.
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. It's got these weird
Yeah.
spotlights in a row that leave a lot of gaps in darkness. Which
Right.
doesn't make sense. And we'll find out a little bit.
Yeah.
They're time sensitive. They turn off if no one's around.
Yes. Well, if no one's moving, I guess.
Sure, because if you're standing there taking inventory, they're turning off too fast.
Yeah, and then, like,
Like, that
but
doesn't make any
one thing that's
sense.
bothering me is that they keep turning around to face the sensor when they start waving their arms to turn the lights back on.
Right.
I'm like, "You don't have to face it. You don't have to make eye contact with the sensor. It doesn't see you. It's just the movement."
I think that's so we, the audience, know what he's doing
Yeah.
when he's doing it, you know? So, anyway, so Esther, she is Sophie Lloyd. That's the actress that plays her. She's
Mhm.
the wife of the writer-director and was the main star of the Lights Out short film.
Okay.
So this is her kind of cool cameo
Oh,
role so that
that's
anybody
pretty
that saw the short film, yeah, was excited to see her back.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And then one other thing about his office here before he goes out, before he leaves his office, there is a bobblehead in the background that
Oh.
is the figure from the short film. Like they
Oh,
had it
that's
custom
funny.
made. It is funny. Like, what the heck? Like, why would he have that? So he goes out. He also sees this figure. It's in the darkness. He tries to run, but because there's all these gaps in the light, the creature is able to cut his leg and he trips and falls. He looks down to see that it's all bloody. It doesn't make any sense. And then he gets mangled and his eyes are all gouged out. And it's
Yeah.
pretty intense right off the bat. And
I
then we
feel like
get the
that's
title
never really
card
explained. Why his eyes? That
so that
was
they can't see her?
but I mean,
I don't know.
I guess. It was weird.
Sure, yeah.
I was also wondering, like, so when he first sees this, like, creature thing in the spotlight, she's squatting down, and you can see she's kind of like a slender figure and stuff. Why does he ask if it's Esther? Like, that looks nothing like her at all. Why would Esther just be squatting down like this?
I don't know.
But, I'm
Haha,
just a
pranks over,
stickler.
Esther, pranks over.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
He does call for her, though.
Yeah, his mind's probably in disbelief like, this could only be Esther." Old
Right,
prankster
that's
Esther.
yeah, and I'm like, "Dang." To me, I'm like, "This" so first time I saw the scene, I was like, "Oh, it's probably just an old employee that got locked in the warehouse one night, just had to adjust to the darkness, and now they just live there."
Because it's so dark all the time.
Yeah. They never knew that they were just locked in there because the lighting was just so horrible, so
That's pretty funny. We cut to an extremely hot couple in bed after sex, which is Rebecca and Brett. I'll go over it, but I think he's a pretty darn good boyfriend when it comes to horror movie boyfriends.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And
I
he's
I
like a really
100%
solid
agree.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he really wants to be the boyfriend because he's not the boyfriend. That's
Yeah.
that's that's her
Yes.
not boyfriend of 8 months.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy because yeah, you could tell right off the bat, she doesn't want commitment. He's like, he
Mhm.
wants to spend the night. She says no. She's got to be somewhere in the morning. He asks if he could join her in the shower, but she jokes like, "Oh, you're gonna smell like girly soap. You don't want to do that." And he
Yeah.
asks for a drawer and she says no. He asks if he's allowed to leave a pair of pants, and she says no. And so he asks for one sock, and she's like, "What are you gonna do with one sock?" And he's like, "Is that a yes?" And she's like, "No, get out." So she basically
Yeah.
kicks him out. When he's on the way down there at his car, she's like, "Hey, one more thing." And she throws the
Throws the
sock
sock.
down at him.
Yeah, he snuck a sock in.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's funny that she found it so fast.
Yeah. Well, like, there was that little pause where he was like, "Hey, I'm heading out." She's like, "Are you still there?" That's when he was
Yeah.
hiding the sock.
Yeah,
She's like, "He did something."
that's funny. No, but you can tell right away that she's got commitment issues or, like, relationship
Mhm.
problems. She doesn't wanna say, "I love you" back. She's shocked to find out that it's been 8 months.
Yeah.
And, the scene ends, it zooms away from her and into a picture of her and Martin, so we know the relationship here, or at least we know they're related somehow. And then it
Mhm.
transitions to the family home where we're seeing the pictures of the family, along with an obituary for Paul, because we, know he was just killed.
Yeah, he was yup, dead.
So we see Martin late at night with his lamp on in his room. He hears whispers. He goes to investigate. He finds his mom talking to no one. She
Mhm.
asks, "Did we wake you?" And she sends him back to bed. And it's like using the word we, just
Right.
like in Oculus when the dad says we. And they're like, "What do you mean we?"
Oh,
It's just
man, I
like,
didn't even think about yeah, that's right. God, it's creepy.
yeah. On his way back, he sees a figure in a doorway, but when she speaks, you could see that it's Sophie. But then these thin, long fingers start gripping the door frame. And so he goes to
Yes.
his room and he's totally scared. And it looked creepy.
Yeah. It was. I noticed, like, it's when it showed the fingers, when it starts showing, like it doesn't show a figure really peeking out, it kinda just shows darkness to start taking over the background of her, and I was like, "That's really scary to me."
Yeah.
Just starts turning pitch black behind her. But, yeah, the part right after that where he, like, runs to his room and locks the door, and the lights turn off in the hallway, and then it just starts scratching at the door, it starts, like, shaking his door, I'm like, "That's horrifying."
Yeah. The next day at Paul Marie Elementary, where
Mhm.
Martin is asleep in the nurse's office, and the nurse can't get through his mother. So she wakes him up to ask if there's anyone else she could call. So we cut
Mhm.
to Rebecca and Bert arriving at the school, and we do find out that Rebecca doesn't seem to have any car transportation at all, so she just relies on her boyfriend or not boyfriend to take her everywhere.
Yeah.
They're greeted by a social worker named Emma, who has been working with Martin since Paul died. But she makes the mistake of calling Paul Rebecca's dad, and Rebecca explains
Mhm.
to her that he wasn't her dad, he's a stepdad. She's like, "Hey, can we focus on Martin here?" And acts like that's not important at all. But I would have to say that for me personally, that's a pretty big distinction. Like, I love my
Yeah.
father, and I do not like my stepfather at all. That would be like, no, not at all. Not my father.
Ah, yeah, but there's definitely a lot of situations where it's the other way around for sure, and some situations where they have 2 just great dads.
Yeah, yeah. And in this,
That's
I don't think
lucky.
Paul was a bad guy at all. But I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
like, hey, it was like, hey, you're a social worker. You got to know that that's important. Family's important.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
for sure.
Right away, Rebecca's like, "Hey, why are you talking to me like he showed up to school with a black eye?" And she says that he's
Mhm.
just asleep all the time and there's something wrong with that. So they start asking about his home life. And she's like, "I really don't know. I don't live there anymore. I moved out a while ago." But she takes him home. He wants to know if he can go to her home. And she's like, "No, the home where you live." It seems like right away there's a clue there. Maybe he doesn't want to go home. Something is wrong.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought it was pretty funny this part because when he asked Rebecca if he can stay over for just one night and he asked in front of Brett, he's
Yeah.
like, "Good luck with that one, buddy." I thought that was great.
That's funny. And she gave him a look like she's annoyed, like, "Really?"
Yeah. I was like, that was a great line.
That was a great line. So they get to the home. He wants to go in. He wants to know any tips for the mom.
Mhm.
And she says, "No, you're not gonna go inside. You're not meeting my mom." And he's like,
Oh,
"Why?"
right.
And he's like, "'Cause she's crazy." So he stays in the car. And when she's going out and going into the house, Becca's asking if mom has any friends come over, any visitors, and he does say that someone's coming over. And when she asks who, she mentions the name Diana, which makes her kind of stop in her tracks and she wants him to repeat what she's saying.
Mhm, like, she recognizes that.
Yeah. But she seems to think it's just a bad dream and that Diana
Mhm.
isn't real. So Sophie answers the door. She's really happy to see Rebecca, though she doesn't understand why Martin's home. Martin says that Rebecca will explain it. And
Yeah.
so right away, Martin goes upstairs to start packing his things, but she stays there to talk to her mom, Sophie, about her medication and if she sought any help from a therapist,
Mhm.
but she says she doesn't want to talk to anybody else about her problems.
Right.
There's a part where Martin's looking at like an opaque glass door and wants to take a
Oh,
moment to
yeah.
investigate, but the door just closes by itself.
I'm
And we're
wondering
like,
why do they have just a glass door in their house? Is this a fancy house thing? Just,
it could be,
maybe.
but it's
I've never had a
opaque.
glass door in my home.
Like, you can kinda see through it, but you can't really see through it.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely like a glass door that's yeah, you can't see through like a window, but like a
It's
front
funny
door
because 'cause I've
glass
seen
door.
someone that had a wall, like, bricks that were, like, opaque squares, that you really
Oh.
couldn't see it, but it was on the other side of a shower. I'm like,
Oh, I
"Really?"
see.
Like, I
It's
mean,
like,
you could
so we
kinda
can
still
so
see in
so
there.
someone can look, but not really, like, "Oh, it's censored." But
Like,
is
that's so weird, right?
it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they start to fight downstairs, and Rebecca instantly is like, "Okay, I'm taking Martin with me until you get less manic." And she turns
Right.
around to yell, "Pack your bags," and he's like, "Already done." And he has 2 bags right there, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. So they go to the car. Sophie's following, crying. Brett really doesn't know what's going on, but he's just doing what Rebecca's telling him, and then they go back to his place.
Oh, yeah. I do wanna say there was one part where I was like, "It's really messed up," but Sophie made it really seem like her daughter just turned out so horrible because she grew up without a dad, and it's like, she make it seem like it's her daughter's fault, and I'm like, "This is insane." I know that she's going through some stuff. Her mind isn't all there, but man, I'm like, that really bothered me, like, chill.
Sure.
Yeah,
So at her place, she's worried that Martin won't like the room because of all the decorations, and there's a lot of
yeah,
scary stuff on the wall. Brett is concerned that she didn't handle things right with her mom and tells her like this isn't really the way to do things. Like if something's wrong at home, you tell the social worker. That's what she's there
right,
for. But she doesn't want to listen to him at all, and she basically just kicks him out of her apartment.
yeah.
And then later that night, we cut to a nice scene where she's making him a sandwich. And it looks like maybe he took a really long nap because she's making him a really late dinner, and we lost some time here. So I'm assuming he took a nap at her place where it was safe and woke up hungry. But it's like a
Wait,
cute scene. What's up?
wait, this is, sorry, Rebecca's making the sandwich? I just don't remember this.
Yeah, and
Maybe
he
I just didn't
says,
take notes of this.
"You're good." It's a cute scene because she asks how he wants a sandwich, and he doesn't
Oh,
mind the
right,
crust, but he wants it cut
but
into
he wants
triangles. And
Yeah,
she's
that's
like, "I used
right.
to love it that way." And then she takes some time to comb his hair, and it just felt like a really cool bonding moment, you know?
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that was a dream. I thought you were explaining a dream she was having, and I was like, "Wait, no, that really happened. My bad."
Sure. So in the middle of the night, we get this cool effect where she has this red light outside her
Oh,
room.
yeah, it's a
It's like
tattoo
a
shop light. It's outside of her
right.
window. I thought it sucks. It looks cool, in the movie.
Yeah, it would suck.
Yeah.
It
It
this
would suck in
reminds
real
me
life.
of a movie called Last Night in Soho, because they have a
Mhm.
similar situation where it's like the cheap 3rd floor apartment room, and it looks out to a big red light that blinks like that. Like, yeah, that would suck so much.
Yeah.
So
That
she wakes
sucks.
up, Martin isn't in bed, and she looks over on the floor, and she thinks it's him, but it's the creature
Yeah, it was
scraping the floor.
yeah,
And so
kinda rocking and crouched over on the floor.
so she can't turn on the lights, they're not working, and she's calling for Martin. When she gets to try to get to the light, the monster appears but disappears in the red light. And after watching a few times, it starts to get up. She is able to run quickly to the bedroom light and turn it on. And then she sees Martin in the bathtub, armed with a flashlight, and he's getting sleep there because he's safe with the flashlight on.
Yeah. That really freaked me out because that thing was in the air, like mid-air going for her when the neon sign turned on again. It definitely was on a lot longer, that scene. Gave her time to hesitate and get to the light, but
Sure.
maybe she's lucky. But it kinda made me think, like, does the monster just stop when there's light? Or like this creature, I guess. I put monster, but
Yeah, whatever.
um, like, does it stop in the light?
I don't think so. I think it just can't be
It can't
seen or touched.
interact.
Right.
Okay, okay, that makes more
Like it's
sense,
in
yeah.
another dimension, maybe,
But then there
slightly
was
off of ours.
hmm, yeah, I guess I'm a little confused, but I don't wanna ruin anything, so I'll ask
Yeah,
about it later.
we'll totally go over the rules when the rules start to become more clear.
Okay.
Right. So, we get this next scene where Emma, the social worker, comes over to ask if she took Martin, and before she could say anything, Martin from the other room was like, "Who is it?" So she knows she's there.
Oh, yeah.
And she tells her, "Look, if you want Martin, you have to make some choices. First, you have to take your mother to court, and second, you have to
Mhm.
transform your life and to prove that you're a responsible guardian for him." And she's like, "I can be responsible." And she looks around and she sees her bong and all the posters on the wall. And so she has some quick judgments there of like, maybe
Yeah.
these are the things you should change.
Yeah, like, I saw the posters and I was like, "So she likes rock music, that makes her a bad parent?" And then it shows the bong and I'm like, "Okay." Doesn't mean she's a bad parent, but I get it.
So Martin leaves with Emma.
Mhm.
And after she's there, it looks like she's going to start cleaning up a little bit. And she sees the scratch under the rug. And when she pulls it back, she sees the name Diana, which now she's got to know that this is real. She saw it. I don't know if there's a
Yeah.
little bit more disbelief or not, but it makes her remember.
Yeah, like
It
a
makes her remember,
flashback.
right. So when she was young Rebecca is here is played by Amy Miller, who was in the movie Hold Your Breath and My Best Friend's Exorcism. But
Oh.
young Rebecca hears someone drawing in the closet, and as she turns on the light, the drawing pad and a black crayon that Diana was holding falls to the ground. And she sees the drawing of her family, and it has the dad scratched all over in black, which probably means that Diana was targeting Rebecca's real father. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking. So when they said like, "Oh, yeah, my dad left when I was 10," like, she said that to either Martin or Emma, but she said that and I was like, "Did he leave when they were 10? Or did Diana kill him?" And then it's just like more and more things like throughout the movie just kind of make it seem like, no, I'm pretty sure he's dead. I'm pretty sure Diana killed him. It
right.
never really clarifies it, but
It
I'm
does.
pretty sure. Oh, it
It does
does?
clarify it. It clarifies it later, which I
Oh,
think I noticed on third watch,
okay,
like
okay.
the third watch of the film. But Yeah, the first time through, I thought he just left because he realized Diana was there, and he left
Oh,
scared, but
okay.
it does clarify later, and we'll get to it.
Okay, sounds good.
So now she knows Diana's real. She remembers that Diana is real. So she calls Brett, and Brett's
Mhm.
there with the car, and he wants an apology. But she's like, "What are you
Mhm.
talking about?" She's like, "When I was honest with you and you kicked me out of the house because of that." And she's like, "Fine, I'm sorry." She starts kissing him and he's like, "Hey, hey, I mean, I want that, but that's not what I want here. Like, I want us
Right,
to
and
be
I thought, oh my
real."
god, it was funny because he said, "You should apologize to your brother," and then she kisses him, and he's like, "Not like that."
Yeah.
That was good.
But yeah, she uses the line, "The bitch is real." And he's
Yeah,
like, "Who?" And she's like, "Diana." He's like, "Who's Diana?"
but he's all
So,
aboard, and I love that.
right. Yeah, I mean, he's following her everywhere she wants to go.
Yeah.
So back at the house, she uses a hidey key to get inside, and she tells Brett to be a lookout. She goes, she finds her mom's files back when she was in the Mulberry Hill mental institution. She finds this picture
Mhm.
of Sophie as a little girl standing next to another little girl who's completely in the darkness because she has an umbrella blocking the sun, but it seems
Right.
to work too well. Like, it
Yeah,
blocks
it's
light, but
just
not that much light.
right, even if it's like a black umbrella, it's not that much.
Right, yeah. And then we have a tape of a doctor talking about Diana's condition, which does not allow her to get touched by any sunlight at all. And this is where
Mhm.
he says that she has a history of violence, which was the name of the 2005 film that Maria Bella was in, which I
Oh,
thought was
I
a fun little
see,
nod.
okay.
Yeah. But in this
That's
interview,
funny.
you hear that they're going to try some light therapy on her or something. I thought it was electroshock therapy the first time, but they do
Yeah.
this light therapy and you see this scorch mark in the chair like she was killed when this happened, when they
Yes.
used this thing. And this scene reminds me of Wreck 2007. Have you seen that movie?
No, I have not.
It's a really good. I like it. I like where it goes. It's found footage, but it's really well done. But you have the scientist for a church that's talking about a patient zero who has this virus and doesn't want to get out to infect the world. It's really good, but it reminds me of that scene.
Wow. Oh, if I can real quick. I
Yeah,
just looked this up. So,
you're good.
it did sound like they were electrocuting her in that, like, audio recording, but it did also note, like, they said that they were using a full dosage of 1,200 watts. So I just looked it up. I'm like, "Well, wait, actually, how many watts is a battery?" I mean, not a battery, just like a
Well, you
regular
got
light
9
bulb.
volt battery. Yeah.
But
Oh, like a 120-watt bulb.
yeah. Okay. But yeah. So it's like, okay, how many volts can a human take? And it says that the human body can sometimes withstand over 20,000 volts. So this is a pretty low, maybe not. I don't know.
Well,
Household
no, but
voltage,
if we're
highly
not talking about
dangerous.
electricity, they were like if they didn't electrocute her and they were using light, if a regular light
Yeah.
bulb was like 120 volts, that's a lot of light.
Oh, wait. They actually said watts. They said 1,200 watts, not volts. My bad.
That's what I
1,200
mean, right? Like,
watts.
but a regular light bulb's like 120?
Let's see. Is there a 1,200-watt light bulb? There are 1,200 light bulbs, but yes, typical ones are 120 to 140, it looks like.
Right. So
Yeah,
that
but
was sounds like a really intense light bulb then.
yeah, it is. It says it's common in theater, film, and venue lighting for the 1,200-watt light bulbs.
Okay.
Just a little Googling.
So she goes to her room in this part, I guess the place that used to be her room when she was little.
Mhm.
And when she's up there, the door closes, she can't turn on the light. She gets yanked up in the air by her hair by an invisible force.
Oh, by her
Would definitely.
necklace.
Oh, is that what it was? It wasn't her hair?
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw it actually showed her necklace like, slowly sliding up as,
Okay.
like, before she got yanked, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." But yeah, she's like Diana's in the darkness and pulling her up.
It reminds me of It Follows where the entity
Oh.
grabs her by the hair when no one else could see it. And so you just
Yeah.
see her hair go up first and then she's yanked into the air. I think that's a really
Yeah.
great movie. So Brett has amazing timing here and bursts through the door, letting the light
As
in, which
always.
causes her to fall to the floor. Then they run out the back of the house with the box.
Also, this is the first time I heard Brett's name in this
Okay.
entire movie. I'm like, I kept just listening him in my notes as Guy.
Guy. There are definitely movies that do that.
Yeah.
Guy and girl. Yeah.
I'm like, I know she doesn't want to date him, but give him a name.
So Sophie and Martin are returning home from his grocery trip, and she's asking if Martin would like to have a movie night. And when she
Yeah.
does, she says, all three of us, and he's asking if it could just be us two. And she says,
Yeah.
we'll see. And some people online point
Yeah.
out that they're having a really good conversation when they're in the bright sunlight. But the moment that she steps under the awning of the house and it's a lot darker is when she starts
It
talking about the
gets.
three of them being together.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's makes sense.
Like she's influenced here. And then
Mhm.
that night, I don't know what kid wants to watch a 1958 movie called Auntie Mame, but in the movie, the character is talking about closing blinds because you're letting all that bright light in. Who could see with all that light? Which
Oh
I
my
thought was
gosh,
funny.
that is pretty funny. I did not notice that.
Yeah.
That's good.
They have a conversation about Rebecca, and she
Oh,
says that
yeah.
Rebecca's confused a little bit, doesn't really know what's going on,
Yeah, she's like, "She acts like she's strong," and I'm like, "That's dang, you're so mean to your daughter."
right? But then Diana shows up to watch the movie with them, I guess, but really just scares the heck out of Martin. So
Yeah.
he runs to turn on the light, and Sophie's like, "Leave him alone. He doesn't know any better. He's just
Yeah,
scared."
it's
But
weird. So she tends to say that about everybody. Sophie's
yeah,
saying because when Diana starts attacking, she says Diana doesn't know any better. But then
right.
when she's telling Diana, she's like, "Oh, he doesn't know any better," or like, "My kids don't know any better." And it's like, nobody seems to know any better. You're the only one who knows much, apparently. But one thing I noticed is when they're talking, like, right before she brings Diana in, Martin tells his mom that Emma, the CPS worker, told him that sometimes the strongest thing that you can do is to face your fears. And I feel like that's what kind of, like, triggers Sophie to bring out Diana, not in a way of, like, I'm pretty sure Martin's saying, "Mom, you need to face your fears and let her go." And Sophie's thinking, "Oh, he needs to face his fears and meet Diana."
Could be,
That's what I'm
sure.
thinking. But yeah, it's scary.
She also hints here that she doesn't take her medication because taking her medication is what kept Diana out all those years.
Yeah, mhm.
So we cut to Rebecca and Brett discussing Sophie's history at the mental institution. Brett is willing to listen, although he doesn't really understand what's going on because he hasn't really seen it. Although he saw her fall from the air.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
then there's a knock at the door, and they see that it's Martin who says it's getting worse. So Brett looks in the
Mhm.
fridge and says he needs to. He sees that they need to go shop, and she asks if he'll run to the store. But he responds that he's happy to help.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
when he leaves, Rebecca asks Martin to talk to her about Diana, saying that she's real. She knows that she's real, and
Mhm.
she says, "I'm going to tell you something no one ever told me, which is I believe you."
Yeah, that really made him light up too.
She takes him to the other room. She shows him all the research that Paul had on their mom from when she was
And,
13
yeah,
years
that's
old.
what I was wondering, I was like, "Where did all these documents come from?" Because to me, it didn't click that I thought in the beginning, Paul was just like, "I'm trying to take care of my wife, she's sick." I didn't realize, like, oh, he was, like, looking into this. Like, he
Yeah.
was, like, really investigating it, and that's where all of it came from.
Yeah, he must have hired a detective to get the files.
Yeah, because he was talking to somebody on the phone, like, whenever Esther came to say bye, but it wasn't his wife and it wasn't his son. So I don't know who that was. So it must have been, like, yeah, a PI or something.
So next is an interesting line that people look into when the
Oh.
door knocks and Rebecca said, "It's the food." She didn't say it's Brett, back with the food, or it's Brett, which some people thinks that like still
Oh,
she doesn't value him that much.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that
But I
goes
try to
into
think
that.
like if someone showed up, I Venmo'd you money and you brought me back pizza and you knocked, I'm gonna be like, "Oh,
My
pizza's
food.
here." I probably would say that, you know?
That's fair. I
Uh,
honestly would too. It's
you
funny
know what I
because
mean?
in my head, I forgot that like Brad said he was going to go get groceries.
Yeah,
I forgot that he was the one who was going to get them. And like in my head, I'm like, oh, they ordered food. And so it's like, why is it weird that there's no like in this year? I'm like, it's not weird that there's nobody at the door after they knocked and they're waiting
just
for
look
food.
down for the food. Yeah,
Yeah. But I'm like, this was 10 years ago. And then I'm like, this was 10 years ago?
yeah.
2016 was 10 years ago. That's
That's
crazy.
funny. Yeah. So,
Oh, yeah.
but no one's at the door, so we know that they just let it in, right? They let Diana in.
Oh, yeah. And there's little knocks one at a time in the hall.
So she goes thinking it's in the closet, and Martin's standing
Mhm.
back, but he's standing by the bed. And so the most traumatizing event maybe in the movie is that the hand actually comes out from the bed and pulls them under the bed.
Yes.
My wife would not be
Horrifying.
able to watch this movie. She wouldn't be able to get out of bed again for a week, like
Yeah, that's something that was, like, a huge thing. My friend used to play Silent Hill games on, like, PS2 in
sure.
the dark when I would go spend the night, and I would be so afraid. Like, I could totally watch the game be played. I can't play it myself, and I also can't have any part of me that is off of this couch because something is gonna grab it, and I don't know what it is, but something's gonna grab it from the darkness, and yeah, that part really messed me up.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I thought it was pretty
Oh,
traumatizing.
man.
Like, "Oh, no."
Yeah.
We cut to them knocking on the door back at the house, and Rebecca says to her mom that we need to talk. Inside on the table, we see that he got pizza because Martin's eating pizza, and they're talking about Diana. Sophie's like, "She's my friend," and Rebecca's like, "She's dead."
Mhm.
And the mom acts like she's crazy,
Yeah. Like, Rebecca's crazy. Yeah.
Rebecca's crazy by saying, "Ghosts aren't real." And I'm like,
Right.
"Really? You think she's the crazy one?"
Yeah, and then she's like, "Then what is she?"
Yeah. And she's like, "I'm not the type of person that will abandon my friend, unlike some people here that
Oh
abandon their
my
family."
god.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
She needs her medication. Poor lady.
Yeah. So Rebecca is ready to call CPS in the morning, but Martin puts his foot down and says that she's their mom and they need to stay there and help her. So
Yeah.
she tells him that her priority is him, but he just doesn't want to let her leave.
Yeah.
So they put
Makes
a plan in
sense.
place. They put a bunch of electric tape on lights, which was something that was definitely in the short film and is the movie cover.
Oh, okay.
Martin hides a flashlight in the hallway. Brett installs some new light bulbs, and Martin lights a lot of candles.
I don't I didn't understand hiding the flashlight. I guess that made me think, like, can she I guess can Diana only she's hmm, she's an entity, I guess, so she can only be in, like, one spot at a time. She can't just see everything going on in the
Right.
house. I guess that would make sense.
But she
But
finds it anyway.
yeah, and I'm like, "Well, you coulda just, like, left it in a drawer. They hid it in, like, this jewelry box that was so conveniently placed."
Right. If I were to have a
I thought it was
flashlight in this
funny.
hallway, where would I put it?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe in the only box that's closed.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just empty. It has a perfect spot that fits it exactly.
So Martin asks her if she will sleep in the bed with him, in the bed with her brother. So she said
Right,
yes, but she needs to go talk to Brett. She tells Brett that she's going to stay upstairs and he doesn't have to stay if he wants to, but he says, "I'm not going to leave unless you tell me I need to," which is
right.
great. Like he's there to support
That
her.
really is.
Unless she doesn't want him there, then he understands he'll stay wherever, even if that means she wants to keep him distant, but she doesn't. So he
Yeah.
says it's going to be hard to sleep with all the lights on. He doesn't really understand, but he's willing. And so she kisses
Mhm.
him before saying bottom drawer, which he doesn't get right away, but I instantly got. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
No, I was like, "What a win for him, he deserves it."
Yeah. So when she leaves, he's like snaps his fingers. He's like, yes. She checks on her mom first, tells her that they're sleeping over, and asks if in the morning if they could start over.
I noticed that she tells her mom they're staying the night right before going to bed, like, they already prepped everything. They're finally telling her, "Hey, we're gonna stay the night." But, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she was locked in her room this entire time, so, man,
Yeah.
but that got her out.
Sure. So she does ask her here to remind us, I guess, about the father that, like,
Mhm.
hey, did you ever hear from father again? And she says no. When he
Yeah.
left, she never heard from him again.
Mhm.
Sophie gives her daughter a hug. And so when
Mhm.
Rebecca goes away, she sees this note that says, I need your help.
Yeah, she passed her a little note in her hand.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and it
the
was just
entity
like
didn't know.
yeah.
So Rebecca runs to the bathroom to start looking for a medicine. She only finds empty bottles in the trash can. The lights start to flicker, so she leaves. She gets into bed with Martin and she plays with his hair a little bit before going to sleep. He asks
Mhm.
if she found the medicine, and she says no. But she says that they'll figure something out and that she will get better. So we cut to some time later when the electricity is gone out in the house and she wakes up. She's got this wind up flashlight, which is the worst type of flashlight, I guess,
Really?
because
I'm
it's
like, I saw that and I was like, "Oh, that's kinda cool," but yeah, that would suck having to
no,
do
I
that
mean,
constantly.
sure it is, but I mean, I've been camping with that and you're constantly just winding that thing.
Yeah, because even later in the movie, Martin's like, "That one doesn't last very long," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, no kidding."
I'd rather have the camping lanterns that they had in
In Oculus?
Oculus.
Yeah,
Yes,
those were great.
those would make sense, right? So
Yeah.
she leaves him alone in the room with the candles that are there. She's looking around. She calls for Brett, but Brett's not there. You see that Brett's outside trying to see if the power outage is larger, and it looks like it is in the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, I was like, "Why is he outside?" And then I was like, "Wow, this guy's so smart."
Yeah, he's just trying to figure it all out, you know?
Yeah.
She starts to go downstairs to go check on the breakers, and Martin wakes up, sees that she's gone. So he screams for her. He grabs a candle, starts walking really slowly so it doesn't get blown out. But anytime a door opens, there's like a draft and that thing almost goes out.
Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious that, like, first thing he does, he wakes up, he screams Rebecca, and then he's just like, "Rebecca, Rebecca."
So he finds her and gets after her for leaving him alone and says, "Don't ever leave me alone again."
Which
And
she
she's like,
does,
"It's not
spoiler
the
alert.
breakers." Oh, I know, right? I know, right? Just
Just
like
like
in Oculus.
Oculus.
Yeah. Let's not split up. Instantly splits up.
Yes.
So she figures out right then that it's a trap. And as they look up at the door, Diana's there to close the door on them.
Mhm.
Brett comes back in, hears them screaming. He's trying for the door, and he has the flashlight on her. Well, and so she goes away. He thinks it's the mom. Then he picks up the flashlight to hit the doorknob with it, and that's what Diana strikes, sending him
Mhm.
backwards. At first, she uses the phone, which has this bright light shining out to hide her,
Yeah, just the screen.
right? And in the
Mhm.
fight, she's able to step on the phone and smash it. He
Right.
runs outside. He's running towards his car, but there's a little overhang or like a awning, I guess, that you could park under,
Yeah,
made
like
of brick,
yeah.
though. And so Diana's able to grab him, lifts him in the air like she's about to body slam him, but he thinks quick, grabs his car keys, and turns on the lights. So he hits the ground and he runs back into the car and he drives away. And you're like,
Mhm.
oh no, he left. And they hear him driving away,
Yeah.
which is a little
Oh.
sad. Like, oh no.
Yeah, and they're like, "He's leaving." He's like, "He'll no, he's not," or something, like, "He'll come
Yeah.
back."
So they make a plan to make more light and they light a furnace and they're feeding the furnace so it has more fire. And they
Yeah.
have him looking through boxes for stuff. When he's looking at this one with Halloween mask, you see a mask that they look like ping pong balls for eyeballs that are white. Those are the
Yeah.
eyeballs from the short film.
Oh, I was like, "Why are there such scary things in this random one box that he opened?"
Well, I think it was supposed to be their Halloween decorations, but with a
It
family
makes
with that
sense. I
much
was like, "Why do you?"
trauma,
Yeah, he opens the
would
scariest
they
thing.
was like, "We don't celebrate Halloween in this household. There's too much trauma around that." That's what I would
Yeah,
be
no
like.
kidding.
Oh my gosh. He finds a black light. He's like, this is a light, I think." And she turns it on. She's like, "Oh, this is a black light."
Mhm.
She tells him to keep feeding the flames, and they do split
Yeah.
up here. She finds with this black light all these messages on the wall talking about how the father is the enemy.
Oh, well,
And
yeah, well, it's weird because the only thing I saw about the father was just like father. But then it said I did see the word enemy on there, but I don't know. But it just
sure,
say it was just like the hospital. Yeah, trapped down here in the dark and trying to take Sophie away from me.
right. So she finds a
Yeah.
bunch of mannequins, which makes sense since the dad
Oh
worked with
man.
mannequins.
Yeah, that part freaked me out.
Their faces have been, like, messed up and stuff, and as she's running the back line, one of those mannequins turns out not to be a mannequin, and it comes out attacking her, but you could see her in the black light, so we learned that this rule here, that you could see her with the black light still,
Mhm.
and she's screaming, she's fighting, and Martin comes back in with the winding up light, and it burns her, and it's like we find out that the black light holds her in place. And so that when the flashlight
Oh,
comes,
then
it
that
hurts
burns
her, it
her.
burns her, because the black light just, like, somehow holds her there, and that's, like, a
That's
rule that we
crazy.
just know.
Okay, yeah, that was part of the confusion I had is like, why is it in the beginning like just the light makes her disappear, but then later on the light hurts her? But yeah, I guess because the black light is there to hold her in
Yeah,
place,
it's
and
a different
then
kinda
yeah.
light, you know? So,
Damn. Okay.
they're still in the basement, and then at some point here, the furnace goes out, like, she's able to send something through the furnace to clog it, like a bunch of dust or
Yes,
something.
and it just puts it out. I was like, no, all their hard work. They had such a big fire in there.
Yeah, but then they hear sirens go off, and that's because Brett left to go get cops and came back with them. So
Yes.
outside, he tries to explain to Officer Andrews, who's the male, and Officer Gomez, who's the female, that they need to take flashlights with them. And all they want to tell him is get back in the car because they don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. And in their world, there's nothing supernatural. So
Yeah. Yeah.
though I think it's funny, instead of getting in his car, he stands in the headlight beams,
Yes.
which is like, he's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's like, I'm staying in the lights.
Inside, the officers hear them screaming for help. Officer Andrew uses his flashlight to break the knob. The noise finally wakes up Sophie, who tries to find her pills but finds that they're now missing.
Oh, that's right. When did she get knocked? Sophie was yelling at her earlier. This is like,
Yeah.
so Sophie's yelling at her and says like, "I told you not to threaten my kids." And that's when she starts trying to take her medicine. And then Diana just like throws her and she like falls and like hits like a nightstand or a dresser or something. Then she's knocked out. And then after the cops get there, the mom wakes up and sees that now the pill bottle that had her pills in it is just an empty pill bottle on the floor.
And then they transitioned for her breaking her doorknob to where Officer Andrews has successfully popped the knob off of the basement. As Rebecca and Martin run upstairs, they tell them, keep the lights on us. And then they run there, and the officer sees the woman, but when he moves the flashlight, obviously Diana disappears. But he goes in to try to find her. Rebecca's trying to explain the rules, but they won't listen to her. So
Yeah.
what happens is he goes off. You hear a bunch of shots, but the
Oh no,
shot,
you see the shots too, which are super cool.
right? Yeah, because the shot makes light, which
Yeah.
makes her disappear until the light's gone, but the bullet's already passed where it would have hit her. So she
Mhm.
can't get hit by bullets,
Yeah.
which is
So
crazy.
yeah. And then she gets
So
him.
right, right, yeah. And so from their point of view, Officer Gomez doesn't see this. She tries to hand Officer Gomez the black light, but she won't listen. She goes
Mhm.
off. She gets killed too, and she comes back and you see her all scratched up with no eyes, just like the father. And so she
Oh
hits the floor.
gosh. Yeah. Well, I guess you don't need to see in the dark, so now here's no eyes, so everything is dark for you. I'm really just trying to figure out why the eyeballs.
So, yeah, you'll never turn a light on again, maybe.
Yeah.
But it kills them anyway.
Right.
She's trying to perfect this. If the whole world didn't have eyes, I could be here again.
Right. And I could be with everyone.
So Rebecca grabs a flashlight and she can't find Diana right away. This is when Brett comes in. She sends Martin over to Brett and orders him to keep Martin outside. So Martin's kicking
Mhm.
and screaming, and she's like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna go get mom, so you just stay outside safe." And she goes
Yeah.
upstairs, and we can hear Diana speaking here, and it's really hard to understand, but what she says is, "Stay away, or I'll show you where I put your father."
Oh, wow. Okay, yikes, I did not even notice that.
So sad,
Oh,
and it means the
man.
father never really left and Diana killed him.
Oh my god,
So
yeah, I never heard that. I was not watching with subtitles, so
she backs away, and we see a hand behind her grab her. She's able to back the light into her hand with the black light and use the flashlight in her hand, which burns her hand, which makes her let's go. But then Diana's able to get her and
Mhm.
throw her over the railing, which breaks the black light. So Diana jumps down with her there. This is where Sophie shows up with a gun. She tries to shoot Diana. Rebecca yells at her, "Hey,
Oh,
she
man.
killed Dad," like to tell her. And Diana's like, "That gun
Oh.
won't hurt me." And so Sophie puts the gun to her own head. Rebecca screams, "What are you doing?" And she
Oh.
replies, "Saving your lives." And that's where we see her pull the trigger. And Diana's running, jumping towards her to try to make her stop. And she illuminates completely and burns to ashes, and she's gone.
Mhm.
Rebecca's screaming because her mother unalived herself.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that part really that I forgot that she was gonna do that because I did watch this one time, completely forgot I watched it, and then I had to watch it again, and I still completely forgot that that part happened, because still when she picked up the gun and aimed it at Diana, I was like, "That's not gonna work, what are you doing?" And then she put it to her head, and I was like, "Oh, no, I forgot."
And you see outside that Brett is holding Martin, who's obviously sad because he's realized what happened. He could hear the whole thing from outside.
Yeah, but
And
it's
it's
like,
just so sad.
oh gosh.
But he's a really good supporting guy.
They made it look
No.
like Rebecca cried a lot, her makeup was all messed up, she still had tears in her eyes, but Martin looked like, even after wanting to save his mom so bad, he looked like he did not shed a tear. I'm like, "Come on, you could have
Maybe
made it
they
look a
didn't
little
tell the
bit."
actor.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't
I'm
know.
just like, he
Yeah.
looked a little sad, but he looked fine.
Yeah. So then we cut to them sitting in an ambulance, and
Mhm.
Rebecca's telling Brett, "You came back." And he says, like, "Of course you did." And Martin looks at Rebecca and said, "So did you. Like, you came back to the family." She tells him no more
Oh,
running
yeah.
away. And Brett
Mhm.
says that he's here to stay as well. Then the light flickers in their ambulance, and Brett tells them
Yeah.
it's nothing. And then we see more police arriving, and then the credits roll.
Yeah. I was wondering why there's no paramedics, but,
In
whatever.
the ambulance?
Yeah, when it zoomed out, like, there is no people.
Eh, just cops, no paramedics? You're right, that doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
No, like, there weren't even any cops outside, everybody must have been inside, then that car came up. The other cop car came up, but there were
Oh,
no
yeah,
people outside.
that is pretty funny. Oh my gosh.
Too real for movies. I
Oh,
am too
you're
real for
not wrong.
movies.
Yeah, but I think every horror movie does that, right? Like,
Yeah.
every horror movie's like,
I mean, they have, like,
you
people
see the
walking
people
around in the
just
background.
talking in the ambulance. Yeah, you're right.
Like, sometimes you got someone walking around with a shock blanket and
Sure.
But, yeah, I did when the lights were flickered in the ambulance, it did make me think a little bit like, "Oh my what if she's not gone?" But I was like, "No, we saw her, like, burst in like, not into flames, but, like, into ashes, I guess. Burst into
We did.
ashes."
But
So,
what's also
I don't know.
crazy is that the director originally had plans for a sequel.
Oh,
which would have shown that the monster followed into
like,
Rebecca.
that's what I was gonna say if it was Rebecca or Martin.
Like she inherited some of the mental illness that was passed down due to her trauma of what happened in this movie. But
Dang.
it didn't happen because he got pulled into a lot of other big budget projects like the Shazam movie. And
Mhm.
so Gabriel Bateman, who plays Martin, his aged 10 years. And so
Yeah.
the sequel has in mind wouldn't work. It would have only worked if they'd filmed it right away.
Yeah. I feel like a sequel wouldn't be good. I think this is better on its
Yeah,
own.
it would make Maria Bella's character Sophie's sacrifice
Mhm.
worthless if
Yeah.
the villain came back. Although lots of horror movies do this, right? Like you get a
Yeah.
victory and Freddy Krueger's back in the next one, and you continue to kill him in every movie.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal, But yeah, I like this movie. I don't mind that it's a one off. I kind of want Teresa Palmer to be in other cool horror movies. I haven't really
Mhm.
given Discovery Witch's time. I've read the books, but I haven't watched the series at all. So I don't
I
know.
That's another person who I've seen her face, but I don't know where.
Yeah, well, have you seen
Uh,
Warm Bodies?
no.
It's the love story zombie movie.
Right. But I wasn't that didn't really intrigue me, and I'm not gonna lie, I think, I don't know, I think she just maybe I'm just associating her with the specific personality that isn't hers. Like, if I've seen her somewhere, where have I need to know where I originally saw her because for some reason I have this, like, personality image of her that's probably not I'm sure it's not her, I don't know who she is as a person, but I've seen her in a show
Sure,
or movie that I did not like her, and that is the impression it made on me.
sure. One thing I do wanna say that I like about this movie is
Mhm.
that a lot of times people say that PG-13 isn't real horror, but this is
Oh.
a PG-13 movie, which I think had some really terrifying imagery and definitely scared me. The hand under the bed.
Yeah, that too, but, like, I can never cover a mannequin movie, I'm just gonna say that.
What?
Mannequins are horrifying. You know, if I
What
go
do
to
you
a store and I
find?
see them out in the daylight, it's fine, but I don't know, like, just they can be so scary. The ones with, like,
That's
full arms and legs that can actually, like you can pose them differently, but not when they have clothes on. Not scary when they're clothed. Only scary when they're naked.
that's too
Yeah,
funny.
it
There's
just
a horror
freaks
movie
me out.
called The Mannequin. That's
Yeah.
funny. But
There was a game
the
that I wanted
what
to play that had, like, mannequins that would I don't know what movie it was, but these mannequins that would chase after you pretty much when you weren't looking at them. They could move when you
Sure.
didn't look at them, and that freaks me out.
That's why,
So
because
I
but when I think of the movie Mannequin, I think of the 1987 romantic comedy with Kim Cattrall.
I don't know it.
She plays a mannequin at night, magically turns into
Like
a
a
real
person
woman,
or
and
oh my
Andrew
gosh.
McCarty's the love interest there, like, that falls in love with her, but then there's, like, a
Yeah.
security guard or someone that is trying to catch him all the time, but whenever he enters the room, she turns it back into a mannequin, so it looks like he's trying to have an affair with a mannequin and he's really sick, and that's played by G.W. Bailey, who was in the Police Academy movies, so I loved him as well. But
Oh,
then
that's
one other person,
funny.
um, I'm probably gonna say it wrong, but Meshatch Taylor? He
I
was
don't know.
the costume designer character, the one that was in charge of the whole department store's fashion. He is the most
Okay.
hilarious part, and I think he might be the only one that returns for part 2. I'm not sure on that. It's been so long since I've seen them, but I just remember loving those growing up. They were so funny.
The Police Academy?
Well, yes, those, but the mannequin movies as well.
Oh, okay, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know if there were multiple of the mannequin movies, but okay,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
there's 2. Yeah, yeah. But
Dang.
anyway, anything else you wanna say about the movie?
I don't think so. I think I covered everything I had to say.
Cool. Alright. So I
Yeah.
do want to say that next week on the podcast is our April Fool's Day episode, so I won't say what it is. But if you listened to the podcast before, you should know what it is. but that will be with Margot, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for it. For that one.
Thank you, Jamie, for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We are Nightmare Echoes. We have new episodes every Monday, so hope you hear us next time. Bye.